Hello, everyone from virtual Zoom land. Welcome to our Park City Education Foundation virtual visit featuring the PCCAPS program. So excited that you all can join us today. We've got a lot on the agenda, so I am actually going to get rolling, and we'll just have people join as pop in and out as they can. So. Welcome. I am Kara Cody with the Park City Education Foundation, oversee programs. I'm not sure how it's December, how that happened, but can't think of a better way to kick off the month than featuring PCCAPS. A couple of housekeeping items. As you can see, we are recording the event. The flow for today will be, we'll do some presentations with the opportunity to ask questions, hopefully keeping them kind of towards the end. But that being said, if something comes up, during the presentation that you'd like to ask, please go ahead and do so. And you can ask a question either via the chat. Feel free to raise your hand, unmute yourself, however you feel comfortable. We try to keep these pretty loose and informal. And that being said, for the time being, if you're not speaking, please go ahead and mute yourself just to cut down on any background noise. Today with, we'll just kick it off and launch right in. Together with our donors and volunteers, PCEF funds initiatives that inspire all Park City School District students to reach their academic and lifelong potential. While Park City is the wealthiest micropolitan area in the country, our schools still don't have the money that they need for programs that district families have come to depend on. And that is where PCEF steps in. As you all know, and if you don't know, you will by the end of this, Utah is the lowest public education funding system in the country, and 96% of all of our state education tax dollars go to other districts. And our schools need our donors' support to change the equation here in Park City for our schools, students, and teachers. The Ed Foundation serves as a facilitator to bring outside resources to the classroom through 8 key initiatives: Park City School District Preschool, the Elementary Visual Arts Program, STEM, After School, Bright Futures, Classroom and Express Grants, Innovation Lab, and PCCAPS. PCEF funds nearly 100 programs within those 8 initiatives, and they reach every one of the 5,000 students in the district. Thanks to our donor support, we have been able to support PCCAPS since it launched back in 2012. The idea was to give students project-based learning and internship opportunities with local businesses and mentors. PCCAPS continues to give our kids a way to demonstrate real-world experience on their college or job applications. And it gives kids an opportunity to try the fields they might be interested in before the expense of a college major. The client's projects help students develop success skills. Students fast forward into their future and are fully immersed in a professional culture, solving real-world problems, using industry standard tools, and are mentored by actual employers, all while receiving high school and in some cases, college credit. PCCAPS is an example of how business, community, and public education can partner to produce personalized learning experiences that educate the workforce of tomorrow, especially in high-skill, high-demand jobs. You've heard enough from me at this point. It's my pleasure to introduce our PCCAPS rock stars, starting with Lindsay Huntsman, who is Director of Career and Technical Education for Park City School District. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Lindsay.
Thanks, Kara. So to give you a little history of CAPS, the program and the idea originated in Overland Park, Kansas as a capstone experience for juniors and seniors in the Blue Valley School District. We as Park City were looking for something innovative, something different for our kids to experience. Thus, the idea of PCCAPS was born. We're part of a larger network, often referred to as the CAPS network, and it includes 77 affiliates across 3 countries. The most recent one being the state of Oklahoma. They joined the network earlier in November. Each of the affiliates shares the same vision of innovative, learner-centered, and future-focused ideas. So that's history of just how CAPS was born, where the idea originated. Let me give you more specific history on PCCAPS. The program was marketed to students in the spring of 2013, with our first cohort of students starting in the fall of 2013. This is our 9th school year that CAPS has been in place. When the program began, it was located off of Sidewinder Drive in the space that's now occupied by PC Tots. I'd love to be back in that space, but with the bond passing, we're going to get some new flexible learning space, which we're super excited about at PCCAPS. The decision was made to move the program back to the high school because of the increased lease cost. So that was a leadership decision to bring it back into the high school, not have students travel, and save the district some capital money. Enrollment for our current semester is 120 students. This time last year, we only had 83 students enrolled. So we are trending in the right direction in terms of growth. And I'd attribute that to moving to a single block class period. Prior to this school year, the class was a double block, meaning kids had to give up 2 periods in their schedule, 3rd and 4th period, to be able to access the program. With a lot of our kids taking multiple AP classes, that was impossible to fit CAPS into their schedule. So we made a decision as a program to shift to a single class period. And we found great success with that transition. Kids seem to be more productive because there's a scarcity of time. They have deadlines they have to meet and deliverables for clients that have to adhere to a certain schedule. Business solutions and architecture and engineering tend to be our most popular among students. Our program includes 6 different strands: architecture and engineering, app and technology solutions, which is more in the computer science field, business solutions, where we address business marketing and the finance components, health and medicine, digital design, and teaching as a profession. Teaching as a profession is still a double block period. Those students go to our elementary schools and intern with teachers and actually teach lessons to our K-5 students. Oftentimes people ask what makes us unique in terms of PCCAPS. How is it different from your traditional classroom? And our response is there's no one size fits all response to the question, what does success look like? We give our students freedom to chart their own journey, and many of them find that a daunting task. And that's because there's suddenly no right answer, no easy way to get the A. It's sort of the self-discovery experience with real clients and mentors helping them along their way. Our teachers act as facilitators and guides. They are not stand and deliver in the classroom as you might see in other classes. Why should your child enroll in PCCAPS, or what do our alumni do once they leave PCCAPS? A couple of colleges that our students have been accepted into: Johns Hopkins University, University of Oregon, University of Texas, Northeastern University, Princeton, and University of Utah. Oftentimes we'll hear from kids saying, I wrote about my CAPS experience in my college application, and that gave me the leg up among the 1,000 other applications that were being reviewed by that university. So that gives you a historical perspective of CAPS. Quick overview. I'm now going to turn it over to Adrienne. She's the master behind what happens day to day in our program. We couldn't do what we do, secure the projects that we have, if Adrienne wasn't a part of the program. So Adrienne, take it away.
Thanks, Lindsay. Appreciate it. So before our students show up to the classroom, there is, just like everything in life, there's a lot of behind the scenes work. And one of my primary roles is to go out into the community and find projects for our students. For example, this morning I had a fascinating meeting with John Plunkett and Barbara Kerr at their home and studio off of Woodside Avenue. If you're not familiar with them, they are designers. They're working on homes right now. They're kind of the force behind a lot of designing the historic and old mining homes in Park City, and they're the founders of Wired Magazine. And so I met with them this morning to talk about possible projects that they could give our students in upcoming semesters. So yesterday, I met with the PR and marketing director at Park City Hospital to help facilitate projects for our health and medicine strand. So I spend majority of my time out in the community, reaching out to businesses, for-profit, nonprofit, a lot of smaller businesses. And I ask them, what is on your to-do list that you just never get to? And how can our students help you? Also, what is a project you think would be most beneficial for 16, 17, 18-year-olds to learn? And they give us projects. The students, about 3 weeks into the semester, meet with their client and then get going on their projects. So that's my primary role. And we rely on networking, word of mouth, friends through different boards, parents of our students that might have a business that they can give us a project. So that's what keeps PCCAPS going, is finding people that can connect us with these projects. Before the students start their project, the first few weeks of the semester, we do what we call onboarding. And that is a number of different activities. We kick off the semester with some fun activities. We do a marble run. We do a game called Disruptus, another activity called Lego Scrum, and I'll go into that in a minute. These activities allow students to think creatively and problem solve while building a foundation for project management. In addition, these students receive onboarding tools such as Google Workspace, Zoom, and talk about appropriate email communication. Right now, in the room next to us, we have Toastmasters of Park City here that are giving our students a great introduction to public speaking and talking about public speaking skills. So that gives you a little background of how we get our projects, how we get our kids ready to meet with their clients. I'm going to now turn the time over to Chris Humbert, who is our architecture and engineering strand instructor. And then we will pull in a few students who are kind of working on their public speaking skills to talk about their interesting projects. So I'm going to grab Chris. He's right here, ready to go. And he's going to talk about his strand.
Hi, Chris, welcome. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Oh my gosh, you have a mouth.
I know my students always say that, like, whoa, I didn't know you look like that, which I don't know how to. So give me some speaking points and then I'll just start running.
Sure. Tell us a little bit about architecture and engineering strands, maybe highlighting a project or two that some of the kiddos are working on, right now.
Okay. This is my 6th year doing the architecture and engineering strand. We used to call it the engineering strand, but my background before I was a teacher, I was an architect. So I've tried to kind of formalize that we do almost half our projects in the world of architecture. I really like the strand that we work on because the students end up designing and creating a tangible object or a thing, which gets them pretty excited and pretty engaged. Some of the projects we're working on right now, we've got a team of 2 students who are putting together and testing a CO2 sensor, which is for a local medical firm. This device is going to be put into a VO2 max testing unit, let's say, that athletes would use to, what they do is they test their lung capacity by working out, breathing in, it tests how much of what they breathe out is CO2, and then they can determine how much their lung capacity is. And so the students, it's pretty amazing what they're doing there. They're using Arduinos, which are small programmable like memory boards that they can plug in sensors and power. They wired up, I wish I had it in front of me, but they wired up this whole testing prototype, let's say, that's about this big, several Arduino boards, inputs for oxygen, outputs for the CO2. They calibrate it using a big tank of known gas, and then they get all this data that gets pumped out that one of them now is converting into graphs that are understandable. So it's been really exciting for these two students. It's pretty high level work. I mean, I started in engineering school when I was in college, and I didn't do anything like this for my first 3 semesters. So it's probably like, I don't know, third year, I would guess, college level work. And, you know, they're getting a lot of help from a local retired engineer named Bob Sloan. Bob comes in almost every day and really helps them and sends them literally several emails every day that I get copied on. And it's just super hands-on, and the two students are benefiting hugely from that. We have several projects this semester cited, the architecture projects cited out in Malawi, Africa, that came out of a partnership that we established 2 or 3 years ago with, I can't remember his name now, but he's the author of The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind.
William Kamkwamba.
Yeah, thank you.
I think I pronounced his last name right.
I think so. Yeah, so William has not, it's been his wife, Olivia, who's really been our client, and she spends her time either in North Carolina or in Africa. And so the students are doing WhatsApp calls and WhatsApp messaging back and forth with her and getting feedback from her. They're charged with designing a community center and an innovation hub. And one of the buildings is more of an actual design of a building. The other one is more sort of research on building components to help make them more sustainable and more environmentally friendly. And so they're pretty different. They're two different teams of students. One team is heavily into 3D modeling in SketchUp, and the other team is heavily into it's a lot of discussions, which is cool because then they're documenting their discussions about which systems will be good for the building. Their final output will be a research report, really, that I think will be valuable to the client, because instead of her having to do all this background research, the students have done it, and she can kind of tick off the systems that might be cost effective and valuable and the ones that may not be so, you know, and she'll have a good head start on then really deciding what components would go into the building. So that's the two different flavors of, you know, two different buildings for the same client. We're doing a project for Auntie M's, which is a display case for her to be at the farmer's market. So they've done, it's a team of 3, and they've done different iterations of the sort of a cart with moving components, like a moving backdrop that could have advertising or the menu, and then tables that they can open and close for work and sales. So it's a smaller scale than a building, but that means they can get into more detail. And so they're 3D modeling that work. What else? We have a STEM spot, which is like those little lending libraries you may have seen around the neighborhoods. The STEM Action Center, which is it's a government entity that used to be in GoEd and now is in Culture and Arts in the governor's office. They are creating their own version of the little lending library called the STEM Spot, and they'll be put all over the state. And so one of my teams, or 2 of my teams, are designing 2 different versions of that. And these will be small, sort of 5 foot by 4 foot, you know, little buildings, let's say, that they can have STEM kits and books and so forth. The idea being that the local communities around the state of Utah could individualize them to make them appropriate for Moab versus Logan. And I know we have several more projects, but that probably gives you a pretty good taste of what we're doing just this semester. Some of those clients are returning clients, like the STEM Action Center. I think we've done at least 3 projects with them now. Bob Sloan has been an ongoing mentor, so we have done some projects directly for him as client, but usually he acts as let's say the consultant to the team of students. I don't think any of the other projects we've had this semester are returning clients, but often we try to keep them because it's easier than chasing new clients every semester.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
I think Adrian was grabbing some of the students now. I don't know if anybody has a question specific for Chris. If so, please don't be shy. Take yourself off mute and chime in if you do have a question.
Looks like the students are ready to come in, so I'm going to hand the mic over to them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
You know, that makes me think a lot about Hello, can you guys see and hear us okay?
Yeah, can you guys please introduce yourself?
I'm Kyle Singh.
And I'm Lainey Pidwell.
Our project with PCCAPS is we're doing a study on gait and balance. And gait is the way someone's feet are, the way someone places their feet on the ground. So whether they turn their feet in when they walk or turn their feet out, and that's called pronation, and I believe supination. And so our study is basically, we're trying to find ways we can improve this for people, because if you don't improve someone's gait and they have these issues with the way they walk, it can lead to a lot of issues later in life with hip and knee problems. It can be especially painful for some people in the future. So it's really important that we figure this out. And so we're using TheraBands, which is a stretchy rubber band, and we're doing a variety of exercises with our subjects, and we're trying to determine if these bands improve someone's gait and balance throughout the study. So that's our project.
Okay. And what strand is this? The
Sorry, this is health and medicine.
health and medicine. Okay. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, sorry about that. I should have.
No. All good. So what has been the most rewarding thing about being in PCCAPS?
I think the most rewarding thing is being able to have the experience of learning how to work with other people, because it was difficult for us to find people that were willing to do the study, and being able to like work with them and figure out how to make it work. And also it's giving us the opportunity to work on our speech skills and our presentation skills.
Okay, great. I mean, and would you do, like, if you could, do your high school, like I'm already putting you guys in college. If you could do your high school experience over again, would you choose to do PCCAPS again?
I definitely would. I think the PCCAPS program gives us a lot of opportunities to work with people in different sectors. And I think it provides a lot of learning opportunities because we get to work with all these great professionals. And so I think if I had to do it all over again, I definitely would choose to enroll in PCCAPS again, just because of all these great learning opportunities the program provides.
Yeah, I would also do PCCAPS again if I had the option.
Okay, great. And are you juniors or seniors?
See, I'm a senior.
And I'm a junior.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, potentially you do have the opportunity to do PCCAPS again.
Yeah.
Schedule allowing. Okay, thank you all so much. Good luck with your final presentation next week.
Have a good day.
Great. Here we've got another group of kids coming in from our business solutions strand.
Okay.
My name is Connor Zimmerman. I'm Reef Yoked. Our project was the Scotland Junior Golf Invitational. We collaborated with a couple, Brian Volmer and Dana Volmer. They founded a company sending golf trips to Scotland. They have two different programs, one for just adults to explore Scotland and golf for fun, and then they have the actual competition aspect, which is for 18 and unders.
Yeah, and they invite kids all around the world to go to these Scotland competitions. And basically, Brian and Dana Volmer wanted us to create a packing video and an informational video, basically to put on their website to help better understand like what they need to do, how they're going to do it, and how to be prepared for the trip.
Yeah, and I would say that what I got out of it and why I really enjoyed taking PCCAPS this year and being part of this project was, first of all, it taught me some collaboration. This is only one of my partners. I have another partner. His name's Robbie. So it taught me to work with others, explore other strengths, and see how other strengths could help my weaknesses. And then also the professional aspect, we're working with professionals, older people that have made their own businesses. So it taught us also organization and collaborability. We did we had this running spreadsheet with a sprint backlog to stay organized, saying what we would be doing each week, each day, staying on task, and just becoming a little bit more serious about our schoolwork.
Yeah, we also learned a little bit more about like tech and having like Google calendars for meetings and stuff, how to use like Excel better and how to organize our stuff. Also, collaboration and cooperation was very key, such as like working with each other and just kind of communicating what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, and how we're going to do it, who's going to do what. And we learned a lot from that aspect, which I think is very important, especially for later on in our lives, when we're going to using these key skills for our own jobs or businesses someday. Also, it was great to work with people, as we said, who have much more experience than us, who can also guide us and sort of help us along the way to learn more about like the business side of things and what needs to be done.
Great. And I know that I have a younger kiddo, and there's some other, parents of younger kiddos joining us today. Would you recommend this to other students? You recommend PCCAPS?
I would definitely recommend PCCAPS. It gives a different aspect from just the core classes and the regular schedule of school every day. I thought it was good to mix things up and also just give you a bigger picture, but also I feel like it was really good in preparing us for the future and things you might be doing later, interviewing for jobs, working under someone. So I thought it was really good in preparing us for what's going to happen after high school and also just giving us another aspect to study.
I would definitely recommend it. For some people, like this class gives them a lot of experience that they might not get from other classes. I know a lot of students complain about never using the information they learn in school, but I think this is real world stuff you're learning and you can apply it to yourself later on in life or even today if you need. Overall, it was a great experience and I'm glad I took the class.
Okay, great. And so are you juniors, seniors?
We're both juniors.
Both junior. Okay, great. Great. Is this, kind of helping guide with what you hope to do after high school?
Yeah, I'm really happy I took the business strand because I've always leaned more towards like business profession. And it's been showing me the inside aspect of a business and seeing more like, especially with Brian and Dana, I think we see a lot of personal things. And especially with these videos we're making for their website, it's showing us how they want to be personal and they want to make their website attractive to attract people, to attract their customers. And yeah, I think that it really has helped me get an idea of some different career paths that could happen after high school for sure.
So I'm a little bit on the fence of which subject I want to major in. And I think getting this experience with business has sort of guided me on what I might be thinking about. I'm also taking a PCCAPS class next semester about engineering and architecture. So I will see, I basically can use my experience to get an understanding of what I would like to do later on in life.
That's awesome. Thank you both so much. Does anybody have any questions before? Oh, yep, I've got one on here. How many different strands can you take? A different strand each semester? Not sure if Adrian or Lindsay want to pop in with that.
So oftentimes we'll see kids start, say, in engineering in the fall semester, and then they could take the business strand in the spring semester. If a student takes advantage of PCCAPS junior and senior year, they could potentially experience up to 4 strands.
Wow, it's huge. Thanks, Lindsay. And thank you to our students. Adrian, please pass on our best wishes for their final presentations next week. Speaking of which, Adrian, were you looking for some help judging next week?
We have 3 days of our presentations and the students present in the lecture hall in front of a panel of judges. And I have a judge on the 9th that is actually in the hospital with COVID. He's plateaued, which is good, but he's still on supplemental oxygen. So I have a spot on December 9th from 11:30 to 2:30 to fill for a judge. So if any of you out there have some space in your day on the 9th, please let me know or let Kara know, and I could use your help that day. Every time I have judges come and they do it, it's an amazing experience. And I think it just shows you the breadth of our projects and the skills of our students. So a little plug and plea, if you've got time on the 9th, I need one more judge for that day.
Yeah,
Thank
it's a ton of fun to judge. They Adrian provides, I'm not sure if you're doing the Google Forms again this year, but like a rubric kind of what you're looking for. So it's not like, you're not given any framework. It's super rewarding and just amazing to see like what kids are doing. I think about what I was like in high school, and it's just amazing how professional the students are. And it's just a great way to, see what is going on and the great things that are happening in our schools. So little plug there. And Adrian's email address is awoolley@pcschools.us. I'm having some technical issues with my computer right now, so can't type that out, but can certainly send that out to the folks that are on this. With that, if there are no more questions, I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate so much our donor support for making PCCAPS and our other programs possible. So with that, I would just like to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday season. And thank you. And Molly, if you could end the call, that would be fantastic.